Welcome to the EWS Orion Data Logger software. My name is Aaron, I'm an Envirotech at EWS. In this video, I'm going to show you how to program a basic level sensor using our software for PC. Please note this information at the time of video is correct for EWS vented level sensors and is common for some in situ level trolls. Ensure to check your sensor manufacturer's documentation for information that may look like the below tables for programming Modbus sensors. Once you've connected to your switch device, you can go to the channel config page. In Channel 1, select the type by clicking the drop-down menu and select Modbus. In the label field, we'll write a brief channel description. Start time is from what time the measurement intervals start. Most cases we'll set this to 0 or midnight. And interval is the time between readings. For this setup, I'll adjust it to 6 hours. I'll set the warm-up time to 5 seconds or how long it takes to turn the sensor on before requesting a reading, then ensure the gain is set to 1 and offset to 0. On the Modbus config tab, we can now set up the communication with the level sensor. The Modbus address we can set to match the sensor's address ID, in this case it's 1. We'll match the register number to the parameter we want to read from the sensor. Level in this case is 53. The source is typically if the data is a read or write value. Most measurement values are in holding. Then the type and endiness is how the bytes are arranged and decoded from the electronic signal. I'll set this up to float and big. Timeout and retry we can leave as the default values, but keep in mind some multi-parameter sensors may need these values increased. The baud rate and parity relates to speed and byte order at which the Modbus communication happens. These settings can be set globally with the settings at the bottom of the screen. However, if you have multiple sensors requiring different speeds, you can override this information per channel in the last 2 columns. In this instance, using a single sensor, I'll just ensure the parity and baud rate is set globally down the bottom to 19200 and even. We can then go back to the channel config page and sample or force a reading to check we are getting the correct response. To set up another measurement from the sensor, we can click on the channel 2 type and select Modbus. This will enable channel 2. In the label, I'll write temp and copy the same parameters as above, setting my start time, my interval time, setting up a warm-up time, checking my gain is set to 1 and my offset is set to 0. In the Modbus config, I'll enter 45 as a new registered number for temperature and use the same source and data type settings as before. Heading back to the channel config page, we can sample or force a reading and check we are getting the correct response. Finally, if we have an external power supply connected like a solar panel or battery, we can set up a channel to check the incoming voltage by selecting supply voltage out of the type drop-down menu. I'll set up the interval for 12 hours, set the warm-up to 0, then ensure gain is set to 1 and offset to 0, and hit sample. No other setup is required. I can also force all the channels and go to the data log page and wait for the results to appear on the data log screen. I hope you enjoyed this brief introduction to setting up Modbus sensors in the EWS Data Logger software. Please check back in on our EWS YouTube channel for more videos and how-tos on interacting with our products in the near future.